Folks, it is Wildcard weekend. The grind might have stopped for some of you, but not for us here. Davis Mattek, Rich Hribar, and then Mr. Nez is going to join. We're going to pick every game against the spread this week because we only have 6 of them. We're going to fire a bunch of pick'ems over on Underdog. We're going to have a great time. Let's hang out. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. All right, brother. We're here, man. We made it. We made it through 18 weeks of the regular season, and we are being rewarded with I think a pretty good slate of games. I mean, look, the what is it? Bill Simmons called it the Shakey's Pizza Memorial Saturday afternoon game between the Chargers and the Texans. That's kind of a nice sleepy start. But I mean, I'm expecting every game other than Steelers Ravens to mostly be competitive and feature some high level football. So I don't really.
That game will still probably be competitive more than we think.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're gonna get into all of that. There's lots of stuff going on here. Reebs, how did week 18 treat you? You know, did you really enjoy watching Carson Wentz? Like kind of what was the highlight of week 18 for you, man?
I had some Bo Nix stacks that won me some dollars. So the Marvin Mims PPR scam continues. The throws behind the line of scrimmage, we'll take all of those. But yeah, listen, the B squad for the Chiefs let Bo Nix do his thing, and we're grateful.
I think
he threw 3 incompletions last week.
Carson Wentz was scared, bro. The Chiefs are scared. They did not want the Bengals in the playoffs.
Look at this Chiefs fan, and we were joking in the text thread about just hating this Chiefs team. Not you, because your ties to the Chiefs. It's like Bills Ravens are gonna play each other in the second round, and they're gonna play the winner of Chargers Chiefs or Chargers Texans. It's like, here we go again, man. Same Chiefs run out.
Same Chiefs. Nothing you can do, man. You can be mad about it, but there's just like specifically for these postseason contests, there's just nothing you can do, man. All right, well, let's get into it. So in the regular season, we pick our 5 favorite games, but for the postseason,
there's only 6 games.
There's only 6 games. So we are just going to go through. We're going to pick a side, maybe even a total if we're feeling spicy for every game. I have got the odd screen here over at Unabated pulled up, and Reebs, man, Chargers Texans, the Shakey's Pizza Memorial game. I believe I saw a tweet that the Texans have never played a wild card weekend game not at 3:30 on Saturday, which sounds about right to me.
Yeah, that might track. I never looked at. I mean, I believe it. I assume that's the internet, though. You can't believe everything you hear.
That's the thing. I read it, but it does not mean that it's true. But
I mean, no one fact checks me. I've been making up all this stuff, all these stats I put. I just been making up. No one's called me on it yet. Now this one feels right though, right? It's the lowest total of the opening round. Chargers games where they were 29th in the league in combined points per game. Only the Giants had more games go under the game total than the Texans. Very much of a Spider-Man meme of 2 teams that want to set out and ineffectively run the ball in early downs. Although I do think that the Texans actually are going to be able to run the ball better in this game than they did to close the year. But very much teams that ask their quarterbacks to bail them out on third downs, teams that try not to make mistakes on offense, and 2 teams that don't really give up a lot of points off turnovers. So it's probably going to be a pretty clean, kind of maybe even like boring-esque game. But all these playoff games typically come down to in these like swing games, just like who can just kind of win the turnover battle, right?
Right. And, for all the Houston Texans flaws on offense, they have not been that bad at turning the ball over. So I suppose that is, kind of a...
Well, sacks or turnovers.
Okay, well, if you include sacks as turnovers, then it's really bad. I mean, the Houston Texans finished the season with a worse net adjusted yards per pass attempt, so that includes sacks. They were worse than the New Orleans Saints. They were worse than the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were worse than the Steelers, worse than the Colts. Like, this is a 1980s ass passing offense. And I mean, I don't really have the explanation for it. I suppose it is as simple as if you plan on having Stephon Diggs and you plan on having a healthy Tank Dell and then you don't have them, that is hard to overcome. Did you see the tweet that Bobby Slowick is getting is on the list to have a head coaching interview for the New York Jets? And I thought that was pretty perfect. Just
well, he's kept good company with who he's worked with in the NFL, man. If you were on that coaching tree, that people want you.
Yeah, dude, he had lunch once with Kyle Shanahan. So if you had lunch once with Kyle Shanahan, I wonder, is this line moved at all? I assume it's just been 3. Yeah, it's been 3 basically.
Like I think is it 2.5 in some spots too, or no?
Looks like you can get a 2.5 if you prefer that. No, I mean,
nowhere.
I suppose Unabated probably doesn't have every sports book in existence, but I do not see any 2.5. So it's just.
If you do like the Texans historically, this is the spot. I mean, there's been 36 underdog wins since the NFL expanded to 32 teams. And 21 of those 36 are underdogs of 3 or fewer points. And you look at the history of home dogs in that spot, they've been really good. And we've got 2 this weekend. Well, not only 1 now because the Rams are no longer technically at home. The game has been moved. So Texans are really kind of the only team that fits that mold. So they're probably more live than people are giving them credit for.
I mean, they're 3-point home dogs. 3-point home dogs win all the time. And I don't think it would be particularly surprising to anyone if CJ Stroud had a good game here. I mean, maybe it would be very surprising based on what we've seen from him over the last, 6 weeks. It's been really dire for CJ Stroud and for the offense. Like Joe Mixon is not running all that well anymore. I mean, the Texans defense is not,
and that's what I think
bad.
Changes here.
Yeah. What do you think changes?
Well, because if you look at like the final third of the season where like the Texans really started to cave in on themselves, they faced the Lions, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, like all teams that are like really front end against stopping the run, which is what inherently Houston wants to do. And I think that's the reason why they sputtered, even to the degree that they even sputtered at the start of the season, is because they just weren't able to even run at all in those games. And I do think they're going to have more success rushing here. In the 2 games that they faced lighter rushing opponents, the Jaguars and the Cowboys over that span, like Joe Mixon went over 100 yards in both games. And that's kind of that's the formula they want to play with, like to play successful football in their mind, not totally to ours, but for them to get this thing running. But you kind of hit on something to open. So this year, CJ Stroud, he threw 66 total passes this year with all of Diggs, Collins, and Dell on the field. That's it. He actually had fewer dropbacks this year with Collins and Dell on the field than he even had last year with them.
He had last year.
So it really reminds me, I think it's kind of funny that there's symmetry here that he's playing against Herbert. Because I think I brought it up on this show before too, that he's kind of getting the Herbert treatment. You know, Herbert had that awesome rookie year. He was better in his second season than Stroud, but then Keenan Allen started to get hurt. Mike Williams started to get hurt. The offensive line started to deteriorate. And everyone's like, oh, is Herbert overrated? And like, we're doing the same exact stuff to Stroud whenever like the situation's just falling apart around him.
The situation has not been kind. I don't know how many favors Bobby Slowick has done for him. And to the Texans' point, 3rd in the NFL in yards per play allowed on defense, 5.7 net adjusted yards per attempt allowed. They, like teams can run on them a little bit, but teams can run on the Eagles as well because you're just going to let them do that. This is kind of my concern is Harbaugh comes in, does not really let because it's a playoff game. We've seen Herbert let it fly, right? I mean, really like the last 3 weeks, these games
since week 8
really been in doubt.
Since week 8, they're over past expectation, which it's only 1%, and you're like, that's not crazy.
No, but for Harbaugh, that's like being 10% PROE.
They went from 29th in the NFL in dropback rate to 20th. But that's like pretty, like just getting closer to middle of the pack because Herbert played really well the back half of the year. And that was huge for Ladd McConkey because Ladd McConkey, the front half of the year, you all the target share stuff and the yards per out run stuff was there. But that stuff's not good if you're not running actual routes and get it, your team's not dropping back to throw. And that's what McConkey the last 10 weeks was 5th in the NFL in receiving yards per game because they actually had to drop back and throw.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they've been, and McConkey has been so good. I am going to take the Chargers. if we were ranking this on this would be 5 out of 6 in terms of like my confidence scale. Like this, like this is a coin flip. It really is. Like it really could go one way or the other.
Yeah, I
but
probably
I'm
like
taking the
playing.
Chargers.
I think I like first half under in this game. Is probably like my best way to play it. Both teams come out and they feel each other out with the run game, like both teams are going to do. It's probably too low of a total for me to lean fully in the under. Just you get a weird play or something. But I think like both teams start slow in this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, the scripted plays. Scripted plays is going to be run, pass. For both teams. I just like.
And you still are going to have home field playoff energy in this game, even though it's going to be 2 in the afternoon there.
The poor Texans, man.
Yeah, I feel bad for. Listen, they're bringing Arian Foster back. I saw they should bring TJ Yates back too.
Oh yeah, TJ Yates needs to be there. TJ Yates should be there. Andre Johnson should be there. Look,
I don't feel real confident in either side, though.
Yeah, my degree of confidence is quite low here. I'd probably drive over to Illinois and fire some bets. Although
I like first half under.
First half under. Okay, you guys got crazy snow in Ohio, Reeves?
We've had all week, not crazy, but just snow. I've actually shoveled my driveway multiple times this winter which is crazy.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to play at the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are favored by a full 10 points here. Unabated has the line blended at -9.5 at even money. You can get 9.5 at Circa. You can get 9.5 at a pretty good price on DraftKings, actually. And certainly, I think I like that a little bit better. Looks like you can get 10 at like close to even money at some places that people would have available. Reeves, what are your thoughts on Steelers Ravens?
Yeah, historically, it's been a really good spot to just bet on these heavy favorites, and you normally wouldn't think that, especially in the playoffs. But favorites in the wild card round by a touchdown or more are 20-3. Heads up, they're 14-9 against the spread. Only one of the teams that have been double-digit underdogs of the 11 teams have won. That was the Beastquake Seahawks. Are the only team to win in this spot. So it's hard to say if you're a Steelers backer, but this would be a spot where I do just have a little bit of trepidation. Not so much the playoff Lamar stuff, because now you have Derrick Henry.
Mike Tomlin always dominates the Ravens, dude.
But the loss of Zay Flowers, I do think, is important for this particular match. I mean, the Steelers still play good defense. We saw in week rounds, like they at least put them in a position to hang around in that game, a game they had no business being in with the way they played the entire game, and they had a shot with the ball to win the game at the end of the game. So I do think defensively, Pittsburgh can still pose a little bit of a threat here and make the Ravens work. Remember when these teams played in week 16, when they didn't have George Pickens, the Steelers in the second quarter of that game were going in to take the lead, and then Russell Wilson thought he could just teleport to the end zone from the 5-yard line and fumbled. And then the Ravens went on a 96-yard scoring drive, and they kind of never looked back. But the Steelers were threatening to go up in that game in Baltimore and kind of have a little bit of an edge. So I do think they're going to be live here. It's just, the loss of Zay Flowers, I think, is important. I think laying the full 10 here feels adventurous.
All right, man. Well, call me fucking Peter Pan. Call me Marco Polo, because I'm ready. I'm ready to adventure. I think that we are carrying our baggage with Lamar Jackson into this line. I think we are,
especially us, because you and I,
right? I mean, we have been. Look, we've been on the right side of Lamar. I think history will view us as being on the right side of the Lamar thing, but I think there is just kind of this idea out there that Lamar is like, oh man, he's a great running quarterback. Really struggles to drop back. Really is not built to play from behind. And I bet you could find clips of me on this channel within the last 6 weeks saying shit like that, just because, look, sometimes you got to fill airtime. It's really not true, though, man. Lamar, second in the NFL in EPA plus CPOE composite. The CPOE is the part that is different, right? Lamar in the past would not have been a positive CPOE guy. Adjusted EPA per play, second behind only Josh Allen. unadjusted EPA per play, second behind only Josh Allen. That's better than Burrow. That's better than Goff. That's better than Daniels. That's better than, a noted EPA hacker, Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. Like this is a total different version. And then the other thing, Reeves, is remember, the Ravens, dude, terrible pass defense. They just have this awful pass defense. You want to stack. You want to stack against the Baltimore Ravens. Can't possibly use anyone against Baltimore Ravens. They're up to 8th in the NFL in yards per play on defense. And then these are what they did to passing offenses over the last 6 weeks of the season. 181 passing yards for the Steelers, 202 for the Chargers, 112 for the Eagles, 181 for the Giants, 198 for the Steelers, 211 for the Texans, 230 for the Browns. They fixed on the fly. They basically fixed their passing defense, and you'd have to talk to someone a lot smarter than me. There we go. There we go. Kyle Hamilton moved back to safety, which improved their defense. I've heard stuff intimated about how they fixed their passing defense. Not my area of expertise. I think you could kindly say.
Well, let's tell the truth about this. Better. Really, it's cool to talk about the Kyle Hamilton stuff.
You tell the truth, man. You tell the truth, Reeves.
You just did it. They faced Russell Wilson, the Chargers. They faced the Eagles, who didn't have to throw. They faced Tommy DeVito. They faced Russell Wilson twice. They faced C.J. Stroud, we just talked about, and they faced whatever the Browns put on the field in Week 18, the Zappy, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's what happened.
Okay. Hey, fine by me. Suits my narrative either way, brother.
Because look at who they faced in the front half of the season when they were bad.
They faced
all good. They faced a bunch of good passing teams.
They got smoked by Joe Burrow. They got smoked by Baker. They got smoked by Burrow twice. Josh actually looked like shit against them.
Yeah, they were awesome in that game. They were dominant.
Yeah. I just look, man. It's really this simple. The Ravens can beat you both ways because
they're going to win this game. But I don't think we're in any disagreement that they're not going to win this game.
No, of course. I mean, that is like
it's just are you laying the 10?
Yeah, I'm laying the 10. This is my, if we were doing this on a sliding scale, this would be my number 2. I would have the Ravens -10. And in fact, if I were betting this, I would probably do some stuff like this. I'd probably do the ladders. I'd probably move them up because in a playoff games, things can go sideways so quickly. Like if Russ is like really bad in the first half, you could just see like some crazy piling on. I just like, I am not one of these like fire Tomlin. What's the point of being on the treadmill of mediocrity? Like Mike Tomlin, clearly great coach. They have no talent on offense. They're just a talentless team on offense. They have no like imagine the Walking Dead Chiefs from week 6, but with Russell Wilson at quarterback. That's like kind of what and not to say Pickens is bad. Obviously Pickens is awesome, but like, is any great wide receiver less reliable than George Pickens? Like, name me a great wide receiver who is less reliable than George Pickens, Rich.
Can't do it, man.
It's nuts, dude. He just like, I saw a great tweet. It was like George Pickens came in to week 18 needing 98 yards to have his first 1,000-yard season or 1,000-yard season. And he ended the game with 198 yards and getting in a fight with someone on the sideline. Like he's just a madman. And I like George Pickens, but he's a madman. It is what it is. All right, let's move on. Let's go.
I like the under in that game, though, by the way.
You like the under in this game?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Give me.
Because I have no faith in the Steelers scoring points. And I do think the Steelers are going to do a few things that at least limit the full run out for the Ravens, especially with no Zay Flowers. I mean, if Lamar's had one kind of bugaboo this season, it is kind of the aggressive man blitzes. And that's been like the MO for him, especially when you take Flowers out the field. He only completed half of his passes with Flowers off the field. It was only a 1-game sample in week 18, but that was against the very aggressive Browns defense who does a lot of similar things. No quarterback has faced more, man blitzes this season than Lamar Jackson, but he's actually 18th in yards per pass attempt and 21st in touchdown rate against those. So they have been kind of his one in a season that's been almost immaculate. That's like the one kind of avenue where the teams have had just a smidge of success against him. But I have no faith in the Steelers scoring points in this game. That's why you can't pick them to outright to win this game. But I do think that they're going to hang around a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I got no issue with that central conceit. All right, let's move on now to the Denver Broncos, who are traveling to play at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are favored by 9 points at home, 8.5 points at home. Looks like this Bet Buckeye. I've never heard of this thing, but looks like this Bet Buckeye is giving you a great price. But I think 9.5 plus 100, like Bet Online, that is right. Looks like Caesars has 8.5 minus 110. That looks all right to me. I think you're a little bit higher on the Broncos here than me. Why don't you lay this one?
No, definitely not. But this is another one where it's just, you're laying a lot of points. I think there's a couple ways to play this. I actually like the outright over in this game on its own.
I like that as well. That was one of my thoughts.
I like the outright over because the Bills are going to score points. I mean, this is also the invitational. Since the NFL added a 7th seed, it's just in the AFC, it's been like, you go to Buffalo. Like this is their 5th straight game as the 2 seed, right? Like where it's just every 7 seed has gone to Buffalo since they've done this. And the Bills have scored 27 or more points in all those games. And Denver, when you look at as good as their defensive metrics are, every good quarterback they face, they've given up production to. I mean, Herbert had a really good game against them in week 16. Really great second half in that game. Burrow had 400 yards and a bunch of points. Lamar, they have 15 yards per pass attempt to Lamar Jackson. And then Jameis obviously hit him up. So I do think that Buffalo's going to move the football. Buffalo has faced one other opponent that plays like structurally the style of defense Denver plays, and it's Detroit. Detroit didn't have the actual individual pieces that Denver has, but they were able to dissect them with like running backs out of the backfield and tight end play. So I do think Buffalo's going to score points. There's also another way to play this too. I think if you don't want to just lay the full 9, you do have a tease opportunity, I think, here with the Bills and the Rams, where you can take the Bills through a key number. You can do a 7-point tease and bring them to -2, 2.5, depending where you have it. And then you can take the Rams up to, 7.5 or 5 plus 5.5 through a key number there. If you like them to kind of hang tight or just outright win that game, there's a little tease opportunity with that.
All right, there we go. What do you think of Marvin Mims in this game? You think we're going to see Mr. Mims get unleashed? I mean, are you buying the Marvin Mims breakout, or are you have you been fooled too many times?
Well, there's a couple plays here. So the Mims breakout, he did catch the long pass against the Bengals a couple weeks ago, but it's really him out of the backfield that's been a thing. He leads all wide receivers and receptions out of the backfield over the past 8 weeks, and the Bills are 32nd in points allowed per game receiving to running backs. But, he's not a running back, but he's doing his damage out of the backfield. A lot of screens. Bo Nix is doing very much the plan of like, don't F it up as a rookie. And and that's not a knock on him. He's doing exactly what Sean Payton wants him to do, but he's thrown the most touchdown passes on throws at or behind the line of scrimmage this season. He hasn't really been good throwing the ball or holding the ball. And then also when you look at like these rookie quarterbacks, and this also applies to Jaden Daniels, I mean, first-year quarterbacks on the road in the playoffs have been not great bets, just not really good sound bets. And then rookie quarterbacks against Sean McDermott, especially in Buffalo, have not been good bets either. So a couple things working against them.
Yeah, it's not great. All right. I think I like basically don't have a pick. This was the only one that I was like, I just can't possibly venture a reasonable hope on this one, because it comes down to like, okay, what's Denver doing in the fourth quarter? Are they pushing it?
That's why I like the over. I mean, it's 3 games in a row. I haven't taken like an actual side, but that's what we can do in these plays. I'm trying to give you the actual what I think is the best bet for the game,
which is fine. I think that is fine. I think the approach for Buffalo here, they've been so high flying, like their scores over the last 8 weeks of the season, 30, 30, 30, 35, 42, 48, 24, against the Patriots, which is very funny, 40 against the Jets, and that's a hilarious game that they were trying to throw against the Patriots. Like, can they go and score 40 here? Yeah, of course they can. McDermott has gotten a little bit tighter in the playoffs historically. I don't know if that'll carry over to this game where they're 9-point favorites. And I'm like, Josh has already won the MVP, everyone. Josh is going to get his MVP. We don't need to get him another touchdown. What do you think about James Cook for these playoff contests? Because his role really is not that good, but I mean, he does get he was tied for the NFL lead in touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he led all running backs in touchdown dependency. 41% of his fantasy points came off of touchdowns this year, which is pretty crazy because you think of how the knock on him coming into this year was. I mean, touchdowns are an opportunity game. He lost a lot of receiving work this season, which I think is kind of weird. But did they just save him? Is it something we're going to see in the playoffs? You would hope that it is, because these two matchups he has from a rushing perspective, we're assuming they win this game, are absolutely downright terrible. If he opens up with Denver, Baltimore, with the way you want to attack those two teams with running backs out of the backfield, and we haven't seen that. He lost his route participation, went from 48% last year down to 40% this year. He went from 26 yards per game down to, he lost 10 yards per game receiving. Was it, like I said, this is just something they were saving? They haven't just unleashed it yet, and we're waiting to see it. That exists in the range of outcomes. So that's what you need, though, because he's already faced 4 of the top 5 teams in yards allowed per carry to running backs this season. Denver's 3rd, and he's been awful in all those games as a rusher. Like they haven't run the ball at all in those games. You look at against the Chiefs, he had 14 carries for 27 yards, but he had the 2 rushing touchdowns. He had only 10 touches for 48 yards against Baltimore. Those are teams that are 1 and 2. He also faced the Jets in that Jets game, 15 carries for 53 yards, but again, the touchdown equity got him there. And he faced Houston and ran for only had 80 total yards too. So you need that touchdown equity to really shine through, or the Bills to do something they haven't done to this point of the season and get him involved as a pass catcher. We know he's capable of it. Right. They just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. And Amari Cooper, it sounds like he is going to play. He was like away from the team, did a personal stuff, but sounds like he's going to play. Cooper is like, I don't know. Yeah. I guess he's really just kind of a luxury for them. Really.
They rotate all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Since they acquired Cooper, with everyone available, no outside receivers played over 70% of the dropbacks.
That's crazy. A lot of teams are doing, I guess if you don't have a star, you might as well have the freshest guy out there running the route. All right, let's move on.
And you don't want to attack Denver on the outside anyways, because you could do it with a really good player like against Riley Moss. Like the Bengals had like T. Higgins, Riley Moss was just all DOA in that game. But They don't have a T. Higgins. The Bills don't have an outside guy that can do that.
No, they do not. All right, let's move on now to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are hosting the Green Bay Packers. This is it's kind of funny for me, Rich. Like for playoff best ball stuff, I certainly think in a non-crazy world, we could absolutely see the Packers win this game. They just show up. Jordan Love plays well. He's healthy. They're not run passing all over the place. Jaden Reed makes a play. Dontavian Wicks doesn't drop it everywhere. But the Eagles as 5-point home favorites against the version of the Packers that we've seen the last 6 weeks of the season. This was my number one confidence interval. Like, obviously, I would not be stunned to see the Packers win, but this is the best defense in the NFL, 4.7 yards per play allowed. This is one of the most efficient rushing offenses that we have seen in the modern NFL at all. They have A.J. Brown back, although A.J. Brown did miss practice on Thursday. Sounds like they were resting him. Don't love that, but this is a top 10 team in yards per play. This is a top 10 team in points scored. Actually, I think even better than top 10. They're just a juggernaut, man. This is a great defensive team, and we remember the playoff foibles from last year when their defense was awful. They had one of the worst defensive units in the NFL last season. They lose a home playoff game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is not the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles here. I have the Eagles -5 as my favorite play against the spread.
This one I do like laying the points too as well. Just the state of where the Packers are right now. Packers also a team that haven't punched up a lot this season. You go back 2 weeks ago, they were in a good spot against Minnesota, and just they made that game closer at the end of the game than it really was to that point. I think we're going to see something similar. Also, I think a lot of people think the Eagles are just going to come out and run the ball. I actually don't believe that's going to be the case. I actually think they're going to be more aggressive than people think. And we go back to that Pittsburgh game, right? That Pittsburgh game to end of the year, they reminded everyone like, no, we can still throw it. And they are going to have something we haven't seen this year. They're going to have all their guys. Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley have been on the field this season for 10% of their snaps.
That's crazy. That is
10%
crazy
of their offensive snaps. And they're all going to be here. They're all going to be in this game. I do respect the Packers defense, what they've done in the back half of the year, especially it's funny because when you look at the point where Robert Saleh got fired from the Jets and then the Jets defensive metrics the rest of the season, and then Robert Saleh joining the Packers as a consultant in their defensive metrics where they went the other direction. It's pretty funny to see that symmetry line up. But I just think this Eagles team is too complete. They can just do too many things. They're just good in all components of the game, except for maybe field goal kicking. This year has been kind of like their one kind of issue, but this is just too good of a spot for them. And then you have the Christian Watson factor that does matter. Jordan Love's averaged 8.8 yards per pass attempt at Christian Watson on the field this season. He goes down to 7 yards per pass attempt. And I know that this game was played in week 1 and it was in Brazil on that terrible field, but the Packers already lost a game to the Eagles where the Eagles turned the ball over 3 times. So I just think you're going to get a lot cleaner game from the Eagles in this rematch. I think they found their identity over the course of the season, and they kind of just get this one. But LaFleur they're the only 7 seed that's won in the since they've done this. So give them a little respect. But I like the Eagles still.
I like the Eagles as well. So Jordan Love has not thrown for 300 passing yards in a game since the week 4 game when he came back from the knee injury. He was pretty inefficient on that awful field in Brazil at the start of the year. That was kind of, the Barkley, like, oh shit, this is this is crazy that this Barkley thing with
they did the Russell Wilson thing with him this year.
Yeah.
He
What
only
do you mean by that?
He only throws checkdowns or bombs. He was 23rd in the NFL and throws to the intermediate level of the field, but he was only behind Anthony Richardson in deep target rate because he was 29th in the league in completion rate. But when you look at expected completion rate, he's 33rd. Like he just wasn't, they didn't ask him to make a lot of efficient throws this year. It's really weird. It was a really weird kind of approach for the passing game.
Yeah. I do have a lot of Romeo Dubs and Dontavian Wicks in Battle Royale for sure. Yeah, I just am concerned from a Packers perspective. Like I do think they are a good team. I think they have a lot of good players, but they're now coming in banged up, so they don't have Watson, who's like pretty important for their passing game. And I've just seen nothing from Jordan Love in like the last 2 months to be like, oh yeah, this guy is ready to spur his team on for a run. And the Eagles, like, I don't know, feels like they can win this without even getting into like 3rd gear. Like 2nd gear, they'll probably be needed because the Packers are not a cakewalk. Like, I don't know, why did the Packers not go? I guess because Jordan Love got injured. But man, they really should have tried to win last week. They really, really should have tried to win last week because
I think they got a little spooked when Love got hurt, and then obviously Watson and Watson, given his history, is probably a guy that should not have played in that game, but. He just snake bit. I mean, you can't predict stuff like that. It's just bummer. Like but I mean, they were 2-5 against playoff teams this year. It's really kind of hard to like. And there's a few of those teams like this. Like we talked about Denver. A couple of these teams benefited from having those bad the bad season last year and having those.
It's true. They did have the lead in the last minute last week. Yeah, that's true. To be fair, they did
against the Bears.
Against the Bears. All right, man. This is probably the game that is like most fascinating for fantasy and stuff this weekend. We have the Washington Commanders traveling to play at the division-winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who almost lost to the New Orleans Saints last week. What are you making of this one? Total of 50.5.
I think it's just gone nothing but up to 2 real high-scoring teams. Yeah, this one too, I think is an over. I think I like Tampa Bay team over probably the most as a bet in this game. I have a little bit of concern of the way the Washington closed the year as an offense, and a lot comes just from they didn't play complementary football. Their run game really wasn't good the back half of the year. I don't think it's just going to turn on magically here. As good as Jaden Daniels has been for fantasy, for reality, he hasn't been that great the back half of the year. Since week 10, he's 29th in yards per pass attempt. He's thrown for over 7 yards per pass attempt in 2 of his past 8 games. He's still running around a lot and getting fantasy points, but he's been a lot of fourth quarter run out stuff has happened in that, like in that output. And the Buccaneers are getting a little healthier on defense. When they've had Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum on the field together, they've been pretty good defensively. So I have a little questions about just Washington's consistency on offense in this game and to kind of back them as an outright dog. And then you have the stuff that I talked about with Bo Nix and the rookie quarterbacks on the road, 3-6 straight up in the wild card round. And then when you just look at top down Washington in general, they were 9-2 as a favorite this season. They were 1-4 against playoff teams. It's really hard to back them. But then you have this Tampa Bay thing where it's like, dude, they were losing to the freaking Saints last week in a must-win game. And you don't feel great about even laying points with them. So I kind of like to play this through like either like a Bucks team total or, maybe something through Bucky Irving as kind of the best way.
Jaden Daniels, since week 10, quarterbacks with minimum 200 plays, 17th in the NFL in adjusted EPA per play. Still positive, but like, for example, worse than Bryce Young, worse than Kyler Murray, worse than that.
Can you filter for quarters on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you do quarters 1 through 3?
Quarters 1 through 3.
That same period.
I'll go minimum 50 plays just to make sure I don't keep anything out. Yeah, that Baker throw to McMillions. All right, so this is only first 3 quarters, EPA plus CPOE composite. Jaden Daniels worse than Jameis Winston in EPA plus CPOE, 23rd, slightly better than Flacco. If I do adjusted EPA per play, worse than Richardson, worse than Penix, worse than Geno. Yeah, 21st in the NFL in adjusted EPA per play if you only use the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, and it's I think just like the way Cliff's offenses work, and we saw this happen with USC last year with Caleb too, is when the run game isn't working and they force your quarterback to play a little bit of hero ball, like it's just not it's not really that good of a system. And Mahomes was able to get away with it at Texas Tech because it's Patrick freaking Mahomes, but it's been an issue for the Commanders the back half of the year, them not running the football.
Well, so do you care about them getting Eckler back?
I mean, I care about Eckler's props this game. I already bet his receiving yards.
Yeah.
But that's where they're going to have success, I think, is the short passing game and the middle of the field stuff. But on the other side of the ball, like they just don't match up with the Tampa Bay offense. So like Baker Mayfield, well, one, we know Bucky's going to cook. We've been attacking the Commanders all year on the ground, but the one thing Baker has done under this first year with Liam Cohen, and we'll see if Liam Cohen is at the front list for some of these coaching jobs when he's able to be interviewed. I think he will be, is for the first time in his career, he just had Baker getting rid of the football. Baker had his shortest time to throw since his rookie season. When he threw the ball within 2.5 seconds, he completed 78% of his passes, 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. When you force Baker to hold the ball, this is when you start to see some of the old Baker. He only completed 63% of his passes, holding the ball for 2.5 seconds, 14 touchdowns, 13 of his interceptions came against. He led the NFL in interceptions, but they came on there. But when these teams played in week 1, he had his quickest time to throw, absolutely cooked. And that's been a problem. The quick game has been a problem for the Washington pass defense all year. When quarterbacks have gotten rid of the ball under 2.5 seconds, they've had a league high 7.7% touchdown rate. They're 20th in yards per pass attempt. They actually allow the lowest touchdown rate in the NFL inversely when they get quarterbacks to hold the ball longer. So combined with Bucky and the quick passing game, I think it's a bad matchup for the Commanders defense.
I wanted to pick the Buccaneers anyway. So that one, that made it easier to do so. And you can get this at 3 points everywhere. It's just, I feel like Jaden Daniels is such a good story, and Jaden Daniels' good plays are so flashy, and they've had so many cool, like, come from behind wins that we're all kind of just collectively overrating them. They also just have like, they kind of have the Chargers problem. They have like 2.5 good players. And then you're counting on like 35-year-old Zach Ertz, I'm counting him as half.
Well, that's the other thing that we talk about, Cliff. So over the past 8 games, how many games do you think Terry McLaurin has led the Commanders in targets?
I knew this for a while. I'm going to guess 0 or 1.
It's 3. But yeah. but when you look at that roster, Zach Ertz, Noah Brown at a point, Olamide's a kid, like that's criminal activity. And he doesn't do anything creative with Terry McLaurin.
Why would you? That's not his job, bro. That's not his job. Come on,
it's not his job.
Yeah, I like the Buccaneers here. One, I do love when these pass first teams find something at running back and they can just run if they get a 7-point lead. The Buccaneers have very much found something at running back. Although, you do have the Lattimore and Evans, so at some point these dudes are going to get into they're going to get.
We joked about them fighting too on another podcast I did about just having Lattimore be a sacrificial lamb just to try to goat him, but
it's definitely going to happen. This should be a very fun game. I hope McMillions continues to grow. I think McMillions' emergence after Godwin got injured has been huge for them, because before McMillan was earning any targets, the passing off they took a real downturn. The passing offense did. Like Kate Otten was leading them in targets for a little while there when McMillan just could not quite figure it out.
This is perfect though for this. If you're playing DFS on the Sunday, the 3-game slate, it's perfect to have some pieces in this game and but stack some of the early games, because if your stacks hit, everyone's gonna be waiting on this game. And if your early stacks can hit, you have a lot of flexibility to operate the chop. Because especially in single entry Bucky Irving's probably going to be on the Sunday slate like 75-80% in single entry, and probably like 50 to 60% in MME stuff.
Yep, no doubt about it. All right, man. Final.
But if you hit like a Cortland Sutton or a Marvin Mims or something in the early slate, you just have a lot more flexibility, because people are going to be stacking this game, and sitting on it
for sure. All right, final game, Minnesota Vikings, not traveling to play at the Los Angeles Rams. They are playing this in neutral territory. They're playing this in Arizona due to the fires. There's been a huge move open up with the Rams as a favorite. It has swung now all the way to Minnesota being a 2.5-point favorite, which, basically everyone's worst fears about Sam Darnold were sort of just, shifted in their face last week, with Darnold just looking so bad and in, not a must-win game, but like pretty close to a must-win game. They lost like 8% of their Super Bowl win equity in losing that game, not getting the 1 seed, having
it essentially was a playoff game.
Essentially was a playoff game, and Darnold looked fucking terrible. Just no real way around it. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Rams. Reeves, what do you got for me on this one?
I like this game. I think it's going to be real fun. I think there could be points in this one too. I already said I like the Rams playing them with the tease with the Bills a little bit, but I do think that people are overvaluing what happened to Sam Darnold last week as like a constant, and just penciling in like that's what he's going to be in this game. I think structurally he's set up to be in really good conditions this week. I mean, these teams played a really good game earlier in the year, and it was a short week where the Vikings went on the road to Los Angeles. At one point in the fourth quarter, it was 21-20 Rams. And then they scored the final 9 points. The game ended on a safety. It was a close game, but you're not going to see the same defensive play from the Rams that you saw from Aaron Glenn last week. Like the Rams MO, they're not playing a lot of man coverage and sending a lot of aggressive blitzes. That's not what they're going to do in this game. So Darnold is going to have a lot more favorable pockets in this game. He was really good under pressure in the first game anyways. He was 7 of 10, and he had been good under pressure anyways. He just sucked last week. And that was not the first time Darnold sucked. He was terrible in week 5 against the Jets. He was terrible in Jacksonville, and he bounced back. The large sample still was largely positive. He was really good in this game when they played, just under 10 yards per pass attempt. And there are some advantages here I think Kevin O'Connell has, and it stems around the play action game. And we've talked about this with Darnold a few times. Only Lamar Jackson had a higher rating using the play action pass than Darnold. And he used it at the 6th highest rate. It wasn't like he boosted efficiency on like a low rate of play action passes. It's a staple and a component of this passing game. He averaged 10 yards per pass attempt at play action pass and 10% touchdown rate with play action pass. In this matchup, he was 8 of 8 passing with 13 yards per pass attempt and 2 touchdowns off the play action. It's been a bugaboo for the Rams the entire year. They dropped to 24th in yards per pass attempt against the play action pass, 28th in touchdown rate. So like there is an opportunity here for, I think, this offense to look more like the offense we've seen over the bulk of the season than what we saw last week. And I think people are going to be overvaluing that.
People are certainly overvaluing that. I'll say my concerns from the Rams side, which is, we all love Stafford. We all love Puka. We all kind of like McVay. We all, obviously because the Rams won a Super Bowl, like in recent memory, we all kind of feel like, well, it's not that crazy for them, to have ended up winning the division. They played that awesome game on the short week where basically they were like, we're keeping the band back together. They've also had just put up some huge stinkers, as a team this year. The Rams have. Their offensive line is healthy now. The run
Stafford's
game is
thrown for more than 200 yards in one of the past 5 games.
Yeah, 110 yards against the Jets. Like they beat the Jets 19-9. Not. I don't think that's going to cut it. Like, it's so funny. Just from a data perspective, if you didn't get to know anything about Darnold, you didn't get to know anything about the cursed franchise that is the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like the objective analysis is the Vikings are just a way better team. It's like a way better team. They generate a ton of pressure on defense. Their defense is better. They have, Justin Jefferson versus Puka. You can call that a draw. Jordan Addison versus Cooper Kupp. That is not a draw. TJ Hawkinson versus, Tyler Higbee. Not a draw. Yeah, and look, there's this going on too. A bunch of these guys, probably Rams players or Rams family members, probably legit lost their homes and shit this week with all the stuff going out in Los Angeles. Like, that is crazy too. I like the Vikings side here. I just like, and yes, that is me betting on Sam Darnold in a playoff game. So that does not make you feel particularly good. But the Vikings are just the better team, man. They really are. They really are the better team. And do with that what you will. But I like the Vikings side here, even at 2.5.
This one's kind of a coin flip for me. I think on the surface, I like just the experience of the Rams, and them having Puka Nacua back. They're 8-2 since he came back. Well, throwing away Week 18, they went 8-2 before Week 18 when they punted. So, and one of those wins was against the Vikings in general, but I like it, like I said, just playing it where I'm getting like the +5.5 though.
Sure.
Where you're teasing that with Bills. You're bringing the Bills down through a key number where you don't have to lay the 9 and worry about like a Bo Nix fourth quarter, like touchdown pass, or like Bo Nix scrambling where you lose your -9. So you move the Bills to 2.5, and then you move the Rams to +5.5.
I'm with you. All right, man. You ready to cook up a pick'em?
Yeah. Let's fire some wild card.
All right. Overs. I've got a profit boost for us to use.
Are we just gonna do 6, or we do 1 in each game, or are we just gonna do
no, come on. We gotta do the full 8, man. What are you talking about here, brother? I will let you go first, man. We don't get to take our boy Jahmyr Gibbs until next week, but he will return.
Well, the best individual play I think on this slate, and like it's chalky, but Bucky, we gotta get Bucky Irving stuff.
Yeah, Bucky stuff is it's juiced, but not as much as you think. I've got his fantasy point line 17. Well, actually, shit, that's really high. I think I have a bunch of like 16.65. Yeah, half PPR, 17.15 fantasy points for Mr.
What's
Bucky.
His total yards?
110 total yards, 87 rushing yards.
Too. Well, remember last week was a playoff game for the Bucs, and he had 21 of 23 backfield touches.
Zero touches for Rachaad White.
He's been out touched by Sean Tucker since that fumble in the Dallas game for the last 2 weeks. But they basically with their season on the line said Bucky's our dude. Like, they tipped their hand, and you're getting him against this Commanders team. Since he's come back from the bye, his full games played, he's averaged 137 total yards per game. That's why I wanted to peek at that. But 110 is high, but he's a good receiver too.
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
Let's do 110 total scrimmage yards. Long reception. I'll tell you an angle I like, Rich. I think that Aaron Jones is see, they got you, man. They're not really offering anything for Aaron Jones because they know he's pretty banged up, and they're probably not offering a ton for that game in general. I saw that some of they're not offering a ton for it in general. Some of my legs got invalidated already of
because they
ones that
moved
I
it.
already
Yeah.
had
So my
live, but they
first
moved
tease
it.
I had to redo because they obviously void that ticket because it changes. But
All right, let's just start at the first game then. The Shakey's Pizza Special, the Chargers at the
it's just
Houston
McConkey
Texans.
stuff, right? McConkey or Mixon? Because I do think Mixon's gonna have a good game, but McConkey's
73,
the better.
73 rushing yards feels pretty low for Mixon for me.
I don't mind that.
8.5
Oh,
receiving.
they juiced Lad up, actually. They got him up to 75.5, huh?
Oh, yeah. Lad is juiced. Let's do 73.5 rushing yards for Mr. Mixon. And then do you want to take, I like 5.5 receptions for Lad. That feels pretty light. I mean, this is a playoff game. This is a road playoff game.
He has at least 5 catches in 10 of his past 11 games. So you just need the swing.
Sold.
I mean, the line is set like right at the number.
Yes. Yeah.
They did juice his yards more than I thought they would.
Yeah. All right. We've got 3 legs. Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
It's just Derrick Henry stuff, right? Unless you like Likely. I do like Likely.
I do like Likely as well.
As something lighter. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do like that.
29.5 receiving yards for Mr. Likely. Do you like Pickens at all?
Not so much. I don't like any Steelers.
No.
The only Steeler I'll say that I'm mildly interested in, if you're playing on DraftKings, is Jaylen Warren. On the Saturday slate.
Yeah. All right. Denver at Buffalo. Knicks, Allen.
Terrible.
I do kind of like Kincaid here.
I like the Kincaid catches for sure. 3.5.
Kincaid higher than 3.5 receptions. What do we have? What's Mims? 40.5 receiving yards. That's pretty high for Mr. Mims.
Especially the way he's being used. You can't just because it's all coming on one catch for him every week.
Every week, yeah. I do like the Dawson Knox stuff. Actually, Dawson Knox kind of always shows up in.
Well, I already told you. I believe that the way the Bills are going to attack them is through the running backs and tight ends. Like that's going to be their game plan.
Yeah. You want to do Dawson Knox receptions?
I think Kincaid's just fine. We can always circle back here. I'm cool. Just leave
okay.
From an individual piece, like fantasy stance, it's the Bill. Like that's what makes the Bills so frustrating, right?
So
they score 30 damn points every game, and you can't play any of their players.
It's really unbelievable. All right, Green Bay, Philadelphia. I like any of the wide receivers. I don't know your thought process, but it just feels like this is going to have to be like a 40 drop back game for Jordan Love. So I like Wicks, Dobbs, Kraft, Jaden Reed. Do you have a read on any of those guys?
The problem is I couldn't tell you which one.
Which one? Yeah. Do you want to do Devonta Smith yards, AJ Brown yards, AJ Brown touchdown?
What's Hurts stuff? What does Hurts have?
Hurts is
I genuinely believe that the Eagles are going to throw more than people think they will.
All right, let's do 219 passing yards for Jalen Hurts. Bang.
Does he have tuds? What are the tuds?
1.5 is 1.1.
Is there like a total? Can we do is there a rushing and passing line?
No, but there should be. Total touch. I mean, there's fantasy points.
What's his fantasy points?
21.85.
I do like that.
High. Yeah. We'll do passing yards, Reeves. I like that. I like that angle. All right.
Also, Washington. The one thing too that we didn't even highlight. I don't know if you follow like Kevin Roth. Are you into Roth for the DFS?
Oh yeah.
Everything's in the green for him this week. Every single game is in the green. There's supposed to be
nice.
no weather issues anywhere.
That's really nice. Normally we don't get that for a January weekend.
We never know. Games in Buffalo, games in Philadelphia,
right. All right, you gotta do your eeny miny mo. Pick Dobbs, Reed, Wicks.
I mean, my opinion is just like Reed and Tucker Kraft are the best dudes with the football in their hands. So like maybe it's one of those two guys, and you just hope they can turn something into nothing or nothing into something. I mean,
Tucker Kraft 34.5 receiving yards, and do you want anything on the Tampa or the Washington side? We already have Bucky.
I like Eckler receiving yards.
Eckler receiving yards is at 16.5. Let's do that to 19.5. Let's throw $20 on that as a flex. It did this to me the other day at the window. There we go. And I almost bet it twice on accident. Oh, you don't offer pick'em in Missouri, brother. That is not true. Oh my God. This could basically be the worst thing that ever happened to me. I'm gonna have to literally contact support, bro.
They shut you down.
I literally did a pick'em this morning.
I mean, you've done it all year.
Imagine if that really just happened to me right now. If in the middle of doing our pick'em show that I just got geo blocked. That would really be an all-timer. Nez is gonna have to come on in 10 minutes and then just have to fire all the pick'ems for me. Yeah, we do pick'em all year in St. Louis.
We've literally done the entire season on the show.
Sports betting did just become legal here. So like there is a chance that something, got reworked or redone. But
that happened to us.
There's got to be no way.
I am not allowed to do, even though gambling's legalized here, I can't do like any of the pick'em games. Like the pick'em games aren't legal.
Right. It's guys. There we go.
But that happened to me. I can't bet college props and I can't do pick'em games, even though sports betting's legal.
I knew there was no way.
You just
there had to have been. There had to have been no way. That's so funny. But then it did literally come up with the error message like state specific. Like literally it just told me I can't do that in Missouri. That's crazy, man. Are you doing the show with High Low today?
Nah, we're done. Because like we just like context of that show where we're doing like more against the grain like ceiling stuff, like all that stuff kind of gets covered on short slates. So
yes,
it's not us. So we had a really good year on that show. That was I had never met Hilo or done anything with him. JM just asked if I wanted to do a show. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. Why not? You know me, my years of doing stuff with you. It's like, yeah, I'll come and riff. And it ended up being really good. I've really enjoyed the 2 years doing that one. We've had some really great calls on that show.
There we go. Well, what are your favorite DFS angles? Oh yeah, there we go. It loaded me for some reason. It loaded me into Pick'em instead of the Pick'em champions the first time. There we go. What are your favorite DFS angles this week, brother?
I mean, be mad at the sites for just like maximizing rake and ruining the slate. Yeah, I mean, the NFL allowed them to do it by adding the Monday night game, but the fact that it's chopped into a 2-game Saturday slate, then you have the 3-gamer, which is fun, and then you just have the isolated Monday game. It's a real bummer. Like 2 3-game slates would have been amazing.
The DraftKings 6-game slate is like pretty big prize pools.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a bunch. We got 100K to first 555. There's a bunch of single entries.
I do like that. That third one down you have. I do like that. That's my style.
The 334 person spy.
Yeah, that's my, because I love single entry small field is my jam.
Let's build a little $12 team right now before Nez hops in. We can treat the people here. Reeves, you can take the. I mean, I'm assuming you have all the prices.
This is all 6. This is a 6 game.
This is all 6. Yeah. This is a pretty big. I mean, I guess I've not looked at the 2 and 3 gamers yet, but I'm for sure playing this slate.
In single entry. This is single entry.
Yeah, single entry. Single entry 4,901 entrants.
All right. Well, do we want to do, since it's single entry, do we want to do something like through just Baker instead of Bucky?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we could certainly play both of them. I probably will play Bucky, Baker, Evans. Even I might even play Baker, Baker, Bucky, Evans, K. Dotton together. In some of these, but you can start this however you want.
I don't know. I was just spitballing some ideas of how we want it because it's all 6.
All right, if we got Baker, Bucky, and Mike Evans, we have 28,300 DraftKings dollars remain. He's expensive. For what he is, they moved him to 5,200. But I mean, we can.
They moved Mims to 5,100, and his roll's better than Mims's.
I know. Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
And we're gonna see Shakir. We talked about on the Wednesday show. Shakir is tracking to be popular just through the Allen stacks.
For sure. Yeah, he's gonna be pretty overowned. I like Keon. I mean, favorite cheapie for me for sure is Likely. Yeah.
I actually don't mind if you're doing Lamar teams. I think doing Lamar double tight ends is kind of fun.
No, it's awesome. Yeah.
Lamar, Likely, Andrews, because they've attacked Pittsburgh. The tight ends have been really good in both games against the Steelers, so I do like that a lot too.
Yeah.
But I do like Likely.
You got do you have a favorite out of these defenses, the cheaper one?
No, I've just been kind of like doing on some of the early builds that I've done, just like dictate like kind of salary to steer me like at the end, like build the team I want and then see where defense fits in.
Well, you know who I like? I really like $4,800 Austin Eckler. Like, I feel like the slate
it matches this team. I mean, it definitely it correlates here.
Yeah, like obviously Barkley or Henry have the ability to ruin the slate, but for the context of what this slate is, I feel like Kyren, Mixon, and Cook are all a little bit overpriced. So I just want to go all the way to the bottom. We probably need one more cheaper-ish wide receiver. We could do one of the dust balls in Buffalo. How about light the candle, Dontavian Wicks, 4,500. We could do that. We could do Jalen Naylor. I do not hate $3,600 Jalen Naylor, because the reason why his usage has rebounded is Hawkinson is now able to, like, he doesn't need his concierge Josh Oliver out there with him anymore.
I do like Hawkinson this week too. I think he's gonna have a good game on Monday. What if we drop Evans from this team and we do a non-Evans Baker team and we just play like Jefferson or Nakua?
I like that. I mean, obviously I think that'll get a little bit underplayed by the field. Let's put Dontavian in there. And
we'll punch in a defense then, and then we'll see what we got.
All right,
pick one. Pick one for us.
Texans in, and we can play Puka. That gives you swaps.
Ooh,
we got lots of swaps heading into the weekend. So Baker, Bucky,
I like that.
Eckler. I wonder. Let's see if the solver has Sims up yet, and we can see if it thinks we're sharp or not.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot too.
I kind of like that team for single entry. I'm cool with that. You have, like you said, all the swap stuff. Although you're pigeonholed to swap to guys that in 2 games.
Well, but I mean, we can know. So, like, if Likely duds, then you'll already know, right? Like, if Likely stinks, then you're gonna be like, okay, well, I can't play this lineup straight up, so I'll have to do something else. So you're gaining information, or if if Wicks smashes, you can move to Kyren or whatever. Like, if you think you're in a good spot. This is kind of fun. I do really like Reeves. I really like that angle of using Jefferson instead of Evans with Baker, just because that is so combinatorially unique.
Yeah, and we have you had McMillan. It was McMillan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can we already have the stack, and then you get the Bucky stuff?
All right, we'll throw the Texans defense. Let's see if the computer thinks this is good or not.
What are the spreadsheet socialists say?
The spreadsheet socialists think this is just okay. They think it's all right. They don't think it's great. They think it's okay. They probably want me to play. Knowing it's Leone's spreadsheet, he wants me to get Joe Mixon in there. Just absolutely.
That's fun though. I mean, that's fun. Let's fire it.
Yeah, let's. I will fire that in right now. So there we go. There's one of my weekend sweats taken care of. All right, Reeves. I don't know where Nez is, but you can leave. I'm about to, or you can hang out if you want. But I'm about to start firing a bunch of pick'ems up to you.
Yeah, I'll be back next Friday. We're losing games every week. I did write up every game too this weekend. If you want to go check it out.
Oh, is that over? I thought you got retired from the worksheet. I thought you didn't have to do it in the.
I didn't do it in week 18 because of the schedule and like just the dumb stuff. I didn't want to be changing stuff all week, and then it was like New Year's, and I had like family stuff, so I talked Warren out of it. But I do them all for the playoffs, and because there's fewer games, I actually go more in depth in these games.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Make sure that you're checking out worksheet and Reeves' write-ups over at Sharp Football Analysis, and we'll see you back next week.
All right, guys. Later,
man. Nez, my boy.
Here I am.
How you doing, man? How we feeling on this? I guess for you, no snow. It's probably
no. I do have snow. I got a lot of snow, dude.
Snow in Texas, bro.
Snow in Dallas, man. When it snows in Dallas, because there's like one snow plow in the entire like metropolis, the entire area shuts down. So it's kind of cool. I mean, every day is pretty cool for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy with my life, but like it's pretty fun that like nobody is obligated to do anything. And like I felt like a sharp because like 2 days before the snow came, I went to my local grocery store and went ham. And then I did have to go to Target the day before the snow hit, or the morning of, and like it was a mad dash. But like I just had to grab a couple things. But I felt like a total sharp getting ahead of it. But yeah, we do have some snow here, man. It's kind of crazy.
Well, look, man, I'm glad you got some snow. I'm glad you got, all the eggs and
milk and bread, baby. You got to do it.
Yeah, you gotta stay locked in. That's true. Everyone knows that. I just right before you hopped on, man, my heart just leapt out of my chest. I just got geo blocked.
I saw that
for a second. I was about to be like my whole life just got ruined, man. Like, are you telling me this is real right now? Like, I can't fire pick'ems. This is terrible, bro.
I didn't realize your state passed, the betting legislation. So I was worried that there was some tie in there.
No, that will happen to people where like they'll get legalized sports betting in their state and then they won't be able to get something else. So,
yeah, there's no time to send out like cute little push notifications, and that when that shit hits, it is what it is. So that was scary.
That was scary. I was scared for my life. I was scared for my friends at Unabated. I was scared for Derek Carty. But thank God I will be able to get my my daily $5 boost token from the National Basketball Association.
Thank God.
All right, man. How did week 18 go for you? How did the first day of Dog Bowl go for you?
Neither were profitable ventures. I am in the middle, and no one wants to hear this. I'm in the middle of a little bit of a cold streak right now, but I have a feeling that that's coming to an end soon. I have no problem with the way that I've been attacking things. Week 18 was, I don't know what happened, but like the stars aligned for Drake London, and I've been a Drake London bull all season long. He had a great matchup against Carolina, and for whatever reason, I was just like, I had like none of them in Underdog. So that was you had to have him. You straight up had to have him. But like everything else went pretty well. Other than the Drake London stuff, RIP to me there. But I'm really stoked for this wild card slate. We're going to talk about it, later with Pete and John. But this should be a pretty fun weekend, man.
Look how sharp this team is, and look at how much money I deserve to win that I didn't win.
These streets are so unforgiving.
This is Bo Nix with Bijan and London, bro. You know how combinatorially unique that is? No one had it. No one thought to have it. And instead, what wins? I mean, classic. Of course, Awin wins with the same combo. He just runs good to have Jonnu. I mean,
I don't know what it is, man. I mean, like the dude's obviously good, but like, I mean, at a certain point, like it's not just like running good if you're winning all the time. Like I don't know, dude. Like there's something else to it. He's a monster. This is the story of the NFL season has been Awin. He's crushed.
Yeah. Man, good for him. All right, man. Let's fire it up. Let's see what they have over at unabated.com/NFL/DFS/underdog fantasy/Cardi. We're gonna load it up 100% with the blitz. Are you all maxed out in playoff best ball contests? What do you got?
No, I've been pretty easy going with the playoff best ball stuff. What I've decided to do is dedicate more of my my volume toward the high dollar stuff as opposed to just like firing off a million mittens. Just because, like, honestly, man, like if I dedicate any more time to the dog app, I think my wife might like actually like sit me down and be like, you need to figure something out. So like I really have to be smart about how I dedicate my time towards NBA and NFL. So I've been doing a lot more of the big mittens and things like that. But I have a fair share of gauntlets before that thing closed. I packed Packers bags at the tippy top. So I'm really hoping that.
Yeah, because Mr. JBB, Mr. John Boy Beats was telling us they're gonna win the Super Bowl, and then turns out they're just like gonna easily lose in the first round.
Yeah, they're kind of like. I mean, honestly, my comp for them is like they're kind of Steelers-esque right now, like strong defense, and then like the offense is just like is leaving a lot to be desired. But you never know, man. If Jordan Love can turn on in the playoffs, like no one's gonna want to see him.
For sure. All right, let's we've got the projections page pulled up over at Unabated. To be honest, I just like immediately am feeling sick to my stomach seeing Josh Jacobs higher rushing yards. Look, I get it. I 100. It's a 5-point spread. We absolutely know there's not going to be a shift in play calling from our boys Matt LaFleur and co. I mean, I assume Josh Jacobs has basically beaten this line every game he started this year. Didn't beat it in a blowout win. Didn't beat it against Minnesota. Smash. Didn't beat it in again on
Miami, but it's kind of
Thanksgiving.
A blowout.
Super blowout. You would have lost by the hook.
Oh wow!
You would have lost by the hook in a 3-touchdown game. How tilted would you be if you lost by the hook?
Oh my God. No, not with my boy Josh Jacobs. 69.5.
It's so low for a game. He's getting 21 rushes. It's like,
but do you know that? You said it with Reeves, and I agree with you. Eagles are a wagon, man. They are
a wagon.
Like offense is like humming. They're going to be fully healthy, like Reeves said, for the first time. Like really all season. Their defense is nice as hell. Like can the Packers afford to give Josh Jacobs 21 handoffs?
I think it's not about afford. I think it's just about the way they
what they're going to do anyways.
It's like they just it's so clear in my mind that game against Minnesota, they could have won that game, dude. And they were just like, all right, you know what is going to convert this 3rd and 7 delayed handoff to Josh Jacobs,
So I feel like does playing the higher like necessarily mean that you think the Packers win? Like, because I feel like that. You don't think so? To me, that's like where my mind goes.
No, it means he rips off a 17-yard rush in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I say this as a Josh Jacobs bull. I love Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
let's do it.
he rips off a 17-yard rush in the first quarter, and the Eagles don't pull away until the fourth quarter. And it's almost kind of like saying Jordan Love doesn't throw an interception.
I dig that. Which but I like it. I like Jacobs, man. Let's play it, because I mean it is very decent chance that the Eagles fall on their face still.
All right, another controversial one. I feel like most of these are going to be pretty controversial. We only have 6 games, and they're all really high leverage. The Josh Allen lower passing yards. It's so funny. Taking the Josh Allen lower passing yards is actually just saying he just like completely destroys the Broncos. He just goes like Super Saiyan. He has 116 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half, and the Broncos are just like crying and weeping and rending their garments on the sideline. It's also outdoors. So outdoors in January, there's no bad weather projected right now, but we could always run into something by this game is Sunday afternoon. This game is the Sunday noon game, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I could go either way. What is your thought on Josh Allen lower passing yards?
I mean, when is it ever just like our human brains, man? Like we know football, we watch football, and I mean, like, let's be real, we're not like profitable, like super profitable wagers here. Like we hate taking Josh Allen lowers. Like we simply hate it. But like I can understand how that gets there. They're 8.5-point favorites. Like you said, if they're crushing, man, it's gonna be a ton of ground game, with James Cook and with Josh Allen's legs at the same time. I can understand taking the lower. It's just my dumb brain is just like, can I really take a lower on?
Well, because it can really go either way. 35-10 win against San Francisco. He throws 17 passes and it's not even close. A scrappier win against Kansas City, 262. Scrappier win against the Colts, 280. Like the blowout wins. I guess the blowout win against the Titans he got there. I'm not taking this, dude. I'm just not having Josh Allen being superhuman ruin this.
I totally respect Cardi's projection here. It's just like not something I would like to put my money on. I think we can make these decisions like that. We can use these tools to make
Nez, that is an incredibly good point, because if you are using a system like this, like if you're like, you know what, I'm gonna sign up for Unabated and I'm just gonna fire the edge plays, like I'm firing all the plays with the 20% edge. You either got to fire all of them to get the benefit of it. You just got to be like, all right, I'm taking John Mechie, I'm taking Devonta. I've just taken them and I'm firing them, and I don't know, probably firing them with insurance. I would assume if you're playing a lot of volume,
yeah.
Or if you're doing what we do, you can't middle it. You have to look at each one and then think about it.
Yeah, which I think is totally fine, right? I think it's okay totally to use these as a guide to help find plays that you agree with. We don't have to be robots.
That's not what we're doing here. No chance am I taking a Jalen Hurts lower. I'm too financially invested that winning this pick'em wouldn't even fucking cover me by half.
You did a lot of Eagles in the playoff best ball streets.
A lot of Eagles. I believe
found that really difficult to build.
Well, you just have to accept that Kenneth Gainwell is the most important person in the world, man.
I mean, I've seen this on YouTube.
You literally just have to accept that in the scenario where Kenneth Gainwell scores a touchdown in the NFC Conference Championship game, you're gifting your grandchildren generational wealth. And if Kenneth Gainwell scores 4 points in the fantasy playoffs, you just move on to next year.
You did, simple.
It's simple process.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna shock the world here.
Okay.
I think Gus Edwards rushing hire is like very strong. I think it's super strong. Dobbins is banged up.
Yeah.
Harbaugh and Greg Roman are going to tighten up so hard in the playoffs. Like, I just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, these dudes are going to tighten up so hard in the playoffs that, like, there's probably 32 rushing attempts to go around as a team.
Yeah, so I'm with you on the Dobbins thing. They just don't seem too intrigued in giving him a lot of touches right now. He does still seem banged up, and I think this game is going to just be a total slog. Both these defenses are really tough, and the fact that we only need 20 Gus Edwards rushing yards, like that's, I'm with this one a lot. Yeah. This is exactly what I'm getting at, right? Like they're going to split carries, and it's going to be the grossest. It's going to be a sweat. It's going to be the grossest sweat ever. But I'm with you on this hire.
Yeah, it's sometimes you got to slop it up, you know, and that is we lost Aiden O'Connell. We have now gained Mr. Gus Edwards. Matt Stafford higher passing yards. I don't know. I feel like I'd tease that up to like 299.5, man. Feels like there's not really much of a way they win this game on the legs of Kyren Williams. Feels like this one is going to be done via the arm of Matt Stafford and the hands of Puka Nacua.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it all season where teams have production. What you mostly because of like game flow, but you know, a lot of production in the air against the Vikings. And I have like no data on this, but I feel like Stafford's pretty decent against the blitz, right? I think he's just one of the best quarterbacks of our generation, whether people want to accept it or not. And I think he's going to be able to handle a blitz pretty decently, especially with Puka there. Like Puka middle of the field somewhere, and they just gonna hit him and get some yak on that as well. So I'm surprised that Stafford and CJ Stroud are so close to one another in projection. Like I think Stafford goes way lower. Or Stroud rather goes way lower. He's at like 233, only a 7-yard difference there. Like I feel like that's insane to me. So I like the Stafford hire. This vibes with my eye test.
And the reason why it's so low is because they've been winning these games doing nothing, right? 189, 110, 160, 183 against New Orleans. But anytime they get pushed, anytime they got to go, the numbers go way back up. Oh, we got to go against Buffalo, 320. We got to go against Philadelphia, 243. We got to go against New England, 295. We got to go against Miami, 293. It's just like very simple. And look, I know everyone hates Sam Darnold right now. Everyone thinks Sam Darnold is the worst quarterback of all time, and there's no possible way the Vikings could win this game. But like the Vikings also, you're right, have given up a ton of raw passing yards.
Yeah.
Because their defense blitzes you and they put you into that position. The Minnesota Vikings, 5th in the National Football League in total passing yards. allowed this season, which like they have a good defense,
right?
But it's just because you have to pass against them.
Exactly. That's like one of those things that it's like, does it matter that if I think that the Vikings pass defense, the Vikings defense is good? It's just like they are. The numbers are what they are, and it's a lot of it's because of game script. And I think they're going to beat the Rams. So and I think the Rams are going to be trailing. So I like this higher. All in all, I think there's a lot of ways that Stafford gets here.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We are 3 legs down, and your boy Jaylen Warren pops up as a rushing yards higher.
Hell yeah!
Talk to me about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hell yeah!
Outright beating the Baltimore Ravens. I've heard people are saying.
I mean, dude, like I get way over my skis just because like I think what I get confused with is like I think if the Steelers win, it's conceivable how it happens. I don't think people can see like if I say, oh, like the Steelers could win this game, everybody kind of knows how it happens, right? The defense locks down, and they make turnovers, make big plays, and then it's just a slog. It's a gross game, and the Steelers control the ball, and it's on the backs of the defense. The TLDR on that, and then when that happens, then it's a good Jaylen Warren game. And regardless of whether or not that does happen, Jaylen Warren is he's at least their most consistent offensive piece. Like you said, George Pickens, you just cannot count on him to show up, even though we all love him and he's very exciting. I think Jaylen Warren gets a lot of run in this game, literally. So give me the higher on Jaylen Warren.
I wonder what Cardi has Cardi is his lower well, he basically has a dead even on receiving yards. All right, we're gonna take rushing yards. All right, that is 4. CJ Stroud higher passing yards.
I don't like that, man.
I was gonna say I'll bet that with Peter Overzet's money. Not my own. John Bates. Why does John Bates have a receiving line? Does John Bates even play snaps?
Is he actually on Underdog?
I mean, they got to be pulling it from somewhere. I mean, the thing is, I mean, they want us to be like the menu that Numi and Co. over at Underdog is going to give us. All right, let's map this out. John Bates has a reception in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games this season.
Oh boy!
So half a yard is like the right line. It's does John Bates
catch a football?
1 reception. He did play recently against Atlanta. Let's check snap counts. We got to get further into the data here.
This is what we do.
So this man is a Patrick Ricard ass player, basically.
Yes.
Is the issue. This guy is always out there. He did only play 15 snaps, so I guess he got pulled off the field basically against Dallas, probably when Jaden Daniels went out. Yeah, some of these, obviously, I think the 2 for 17 against Philadelphia, I believe Ertz did not play in this game.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Let me check the box score to make sure that is no, Ertz did play in that game. All right, so never mind. Yeah, I think we fired. This is a great sweat. That is that is such a good Sunday night sweat. Like, dude, if you see John Bates out there, like we're the biggest Ben Sinnott fans in the world, I think.
Yeah. I like it, man. This is like, is he biggest game of Jaden Daniels' career so far? John Bates, I believe in you. Come on, he's gonna tuck and run before he looks John Bates.
Let me tell you the greatest way to win this wager. 1 catch for -2 yards on a tight end screen.
Oh, then we're so live.
We're so live. All right, there we go. That is the I suppose that I'm gonna use my boost on this one. Actually, I have a
confidence interval off the chain.
A 25% profit boost. We're gonna go ahead and fire that one up. It didn't let me use it last time because it thought I was in. It thought I was trying to like hack into the matrix and redo the system. Gus Edwards 18.5 rushing yards. Man, that is just so low.
Yeah, it's very low. I can't imagine that it's on the backs of J.K. Dobbins this weekend. I don't know.
I mean, granted, that's probably 17 Gus Edwards rushing attempts, but still. All right. And the last leg was Jaylen Warren rushing hires. All right, there we go, folks. Standard, no flex. We're firing $25 on that one. That is high confidence intervals, bro.
We might have cooked.
I think we did cook. I do not recommend taking a Deontay Johnson touchdown. I'm gonna be real.
Oh my
I'm gonna be real, bro.
God. I can't believe that's
real.
even in the menu.
Yeah. Wow. It took us 24 minutes to get one entry in. We're I guess 6 games.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know. We won one last week. One of the 8-leggers hit. I don't remember which one, and I'm not going back in my menu because there's about 19 lost NBA ones in between because they keep giving me these tokens, man. They keep giving me these no sweat tokens, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna keep firing. But I believe the Hateful Eight, one of the Hateful Eights from last week hit. I would need to go back in the archive.
I'm trudging through all of this graveyard and trying to find where
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, this is bad.
I don't recommend it.
I believe this.
That was the unabated high confidence interval play. You'll love to see it. All right, man. It's the playoffs. We got to positivity.
Okay.
We need touchdowns.
Okay.
We need touchdowns. And I think because it's the playoffs, we can take layups. So let's just start with a literal layup.
Yeah, no, this is in the bag. I got to face some music here. Derrick Henry's crossing the goal line against my Steelers, no matter how much I want to fight it.
It's like I've taken Derrick Henry lowers at points this year, and it's like, dude, the inertia of the world tilts on its axis to get this man in the end zone. It's unreal. Extremely
well said.
It does sound like this is real that Deshaun Watson did re-rupture his Achilles. So sounds like tough scene. You know, shame. Shame. What a bummer, man.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a Charger or a Texan who you like to generate a touchdown?
I mean, it's such a loaded question because, like, no, I really don't think that this game is going to be that exciting. But if I did have to put somebody into a positivity pick'em for us, I think it would probably be Nico or Ladd. I think one of these guys are getting in the end zone. Ladd is a higher multiplier by like 0.03, but Nico is, the groaner asser man. So if you want to do a Nico touchdown, I'm for it.
The Hateful Eight, that one that had Chase Brown on it.
So
yeah.
R.I.P.
All right, Ladd McConkey to generate a rushing or receiving touchdown, 1.16x. We are going to take that one right there. We are going to go to Denver, Buffalo, and I'm going to go. Oh, you know what happened last week? Actually, I will go dig this up. I had a 4-legger all touchdowns, dude. I had the estimate touchdown.
Oh, I totally forgot. Last week I was like mad busy and I wasn't even here.
Yeah, you weren't here.
And you had estimate?
We had that was what it was. That just got shook out of my memory. I was about to take a Josh Allen rushing touchdown, but I'm sorry, dude. 0.94x for a quarterback rushing touchdown. I'm immediately out. I'm immediately out on that.
It's gonna happen, but like, yeah, I just the principle.
All right. Close your eyes. Pretend
I'll play along.
That Dalton Kincaid scores a touchdown in a playoff game.
Eyes are open.
Can you see it? You can't see it?
Absolutely fucking not.
All right.
Let's James Cook, dude. Let's just can we just look at James Cook?
He's literally the same as Allen. So if we're taking 0.94x, I think we take Josh, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is a team that has scored 30 points in 9 straight games before the Patriots game.
I like James Cook, but if you want to go Josh Allen,
ship it. You are a guest in my house. We are shipping James Cook. All right, here's the Green Bay Philadelphia game. So I was asking Rich this. Do you have a lean with any of these Packers? Wicks, Dobbs, Reed, Kraft, Musgrave, any of these guys?
Probably Wicks. I feel like Wicks just needs an opportunity, and then he is like immediately the most talented wide receiver on the field. It just like kind of doesn't really make sense. But I think Jordan Love like trusts him and thinks that as well.
He did almost break the NFL record for drops. True story. True story.
How long is that? How long are they even tracking drops? I'm gonna
since PFF started tracking drop rate. It's actually very funny. The leaders in drop rate in the NFL are all in the Aaron Rodgers extended universe. It was Allen Lazard, Wicks, Jaden Reed, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Is that a coincidence, or can we just blame Aaron Rodgers for that?
I think we can blame Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Do you want to take Barkley, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts? I think all are drawing fairly live.
Yeah, this might be layup time. I think I would probably do Barkley. I can't believe Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown is a higher multiplier than
I was going to say. I feel like Hurts is way more of the layup than Barkley.
Let's take our QB rushing touchdown with Hurts.
Yeah. All right. Washington, Tampa Bay. I mean, this is the extravaganza game, man.
Yeah, this game's gonna be awesome, right? It would shock me if it wasn't. There's a million different ways that we can play this one. What's your? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, Bucky Irving, man.
Yeah.
And low-key kind of like Zach Ertz. This feels like a big Ertz game, man. I'm being very serious.
Big game Ertz. I'm with you, man.
Ertz, man.
I mean, he's survived the regular season. Nobody thought he could do it. Now
some of us did. Some people did legitimately drag ourselves in the mud to tout Zach Ertz. I mean, it didn't win me any money, Nez, but I did doubt it.
I crushed the dust, the tight end landscape this season, and it amounted to nothing. It didn't matter at all. But I like the Ertz call. I'll play along with you.
All right, there we go, folks. You know what you're getting into. These are terrible. Jesus Christ, I can't, dude. What 1.65x? I'm sorry. New me. Come on, man.
You might as well take the fantasy points. I mean,
you know what? You're right. The fantasy points is the way to do it.
But I don't know if we're doing. Are we allowing fantasy points on this one?
7.95. I mean that is that in half PPR scoring that is basically that's a 19-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Or no, that's a 27-yard touchdown. All right, that is 6. Let's take Bucky. 0.86x, and then let's see. They honestly might not have anything posted touchdown wise for Minnesota, Los Angeles. No, they do. So we got Jefferson, we got Kyron, we don't have Puka. Anything leaping out to you here?
What about playoff Jettas, man? You think we see him in the end zone?
I mean, I certainly hope so.
For even multiplier, biggest game
even multiplier. Justin Jefferson, biggest game of his life. I actually don't even know if that's true. They probably they ever win a playoff game in the Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson era?
I think the big thing was they didn't. I'm pretty sure because that was the Diggs game that they won, and Jefferson was not there with Diggs, right? No,
right? Yeah.
This is nice, man. 104. Yeah.
This has me feeling nicey. 104x multiplier. We've got Derrick Henry, Ladd, James Cook, Dontavian Wicks, Jalen Hurts, Bucky Irving, and Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown. And then we kind of chickened out. We took Zach Ertz to score 7.95 half PPR fantasy points. That feels very low.
Yeah, it does. I mean, considering the usage that Zach Ertz is getting right now, he's the number 2 option for Jaden Daniels in that passing offense right now. So I like that, especially because we think that game's going to shoot out as well.
What do Leone and the 4 dudes have him projected for? They got to have him projected for more than 7.95, bro.
I can check in a second here.
Let's do this. This is this is fantasy advice you're not going to get anywhere else, but just check.
This is full PPR, right?
This is half PPR. FanDuel is half PPR. Leone and 4 guys have Zach Ertz for 10.18 FanDuel points.
Oh shit!
There's a bonus for 100 yards and shit. So maybe you could say a point of that is over, but this would be if you just overlaid. Never mind. I have the DraftKings scoring.
I thought you did.
Now. Okay. All right. Hold on.
Okay.
Don't go mortgaging your house to put more money down. They still have him for 8.1 So that's still like an 8% ish edge. They still have him as a clear over there.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. All right. That is the touchdown octopus. All right. Now we have to do what everyone came here to see. We got to hate. And hating in playoff games is great because they tend to just air lower scoring anyway. And I think there is a generational hate play here, man.
Okay, let me hear your. Do you want to start off, or are you going to save it?
No, I'm starting off with a generational play, man. Rachaad White got 0 touches in a must-win game last week, man. 0. 18 snaps, 0 rushes, 0 targets. Sean Tucker, since that fumble, has more touches of the ball than him. It's Jover. It's Jover for the Rachaad White era. We are taking lower 14.5 rushing yards. And if you lose this one, you lose. You could take lower rushing plus receiving yards. I think both are fine. I literally think his carries line for this game should be like 2.5.
I'm surprised that the scrimmage yards are so low, to be honest. I mean, I know he had 0 touches. Wow. I was not
he's still going to run routes. They're still going to play him on passing downs. Like his passing downs are not going to go to 0.
Yeah.
But it's Bucky, man. It's Bucky season.
Yeah, I like it.
Man is in the middle of a chest workout, popping in for the GM.
Wow. The weakest Davis viewer right there. Just a bunch of grown ass men in here staying hard.
Carry the boats, brother. All right. That is Hateful 8 leg number 1. Nez, who are we hating on next?
We're gonna hate on Najee. Lower Najee.
Wow.
0.75x. It's Jaylen Warren's season. We've seen them lean on Jaylen Warren more and more. And like, are they gonna be at the goal line? Are they gonna? I just don't see the Steelers. Nobody thinks the Steelers are gonna do anything in this game. So if Najee scored a touchdown, I'm probably happy because that means that they might win. There's just no way.
God, they got rid of my favorite wager on the site.
Javonte.
Oh man, that is so brutal. The Javonte is like not. Javonte has moved into his Samaj P. Ryan era, but he moved into it at 24 or whatever. Like he just is like he's just like a useless third down back now. I mean, it's crazy.
It is extremely crazy considering like in dynasty drafts he was like top 5 pick in startups the first year out the draft.
Yes,
I mean,
people love this guy. Look at this usage for him the last month of the season. 15% of the team rush attempts, is getting targeted. No touches inside the 5. He's playing 100%, 92% of the 2-minute snaps for them. They turned Javonte into a third down back, man.
Audric Estimate bros were so right, and we'll never for it.
We'll never get to cash in those Sklanskys, man. What is the deal, man? I need to be able to cash those Sklanskys in. Is there anything on
best ball I really want to?
You could take the lower on the rushing yards. You just obviously run the risk of like literally one rush killing you. What do we have? What is there for Estimate?
I like the Javonte lower, man.
On the rushing yards?
Yeah, rushing or
scrimmage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, he literally, I think he might be a dog to get a carry here. Because they're using Marvin Mims in the backfield.
Are they going to have any opportunity to do a handoff other than like first drive of the game? And even if that does happen,
if they do, it'll be Jaleel and Estimate. Yeah, Jaleel has 40% of the team rushing attempts. Estimate has 34% over the last month of the season.
Like he racked up 78 yards against the Chiefs because he was playing against their practice squad. Like there's nothing here that scares me. Like the game against Cincy where they were trying really hard, flat 0.
Yeah, tough scene. Okay. All right, that is 3 legs in. Plenty of guys for us to hate on in Houston Chargers. I think we could do.
I really like doing a Stroud lower on passing yards.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like this is so 236. Come on, dude. Like all we've seen all season is just the Texans just look like somebody like somebody replace them with a bunch of guys who don't know how to play football. It's just Nico Collins, doing the receiving work out here. Chargers are a pretty solid defense. How is this working out?
I guess it would just be garbage time hero shit would be how you lose this one.
Yeah, that's true, right? We could be so directionally accurate, but I still like it.
Like the thing that happens in a playoff game is like Davis Mills is not coming in if they're down 40 points. You have to try until the end.
It's true.
But
it's true.
But no, I like that one. I like that one. Guys, is there a way to take a Deontay Johnson lower? Is that out there in the market?
Any two-way markets for Deontay?
God, if someone send the at everyone in the Discord, if we get any Deontay Johnson lowers, I'd like to take the lower on him recording a reception if possible. I wonder if there's anything. The funny, is there Calvin Austin stuff that we can take lowers on?
I think there is. There's got to be two-way markets for him. Oh yeah.
Calvin Austin lower 2.5 receptions. I mean,
that's what I like.
I know it's 0.8x, but yeah,
that's what we do on these. We're tacking 8 of these guys on, so we need some.
Well, they've waffled over to Mike Williams. The usage for the Steelers wide receivers is his targets per route run is 13%, 14% of the targets, and Mr. Williams, I guess not as much as I thought, honestly. I guess it's because every Mike Williams play you remember. Every Mike Williams play you remember somehow. Scotty Miller prominently involved, Ben Skowronek, incredible stuff, this team.
It sucks, man. It's so bad. I don't know why they went into the season thinking that that'll do it. Yeah, we're the historic, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll do.
No one cares, work harder. That's the mantra. All right, Green Bay, Philadelphia. I mean, I tell you what, how about Jordan? Oh my God. I was about to say Jordan Love to throw an interception, but it's 0.82x. That's maybe not hateful enough.
No.
It'd be really funny to take Jaden Reed receiving lowers and then have him have his first good game in 6 months.
That'd be just like us, right? We would be the catalyst for Jaden Reed to actually finally pop off.
Let's do, let's do Love to throw a pick. Love to throw a pick. I mean, I think the only way you lose that one is if he leaves the game. I think you lose that one if he leaves the game injured.
He's about to throw the coolest interception of all time in this game.
He's going to be off his back foot. He's gonna shake his hand. It's absolutely classic. All right, Washington, Tampa Bay. It brings me no pleasure, but I think we take the lower on the scrimmage yards for Brian Robinson Jr. or the lower on his touchdown. Which one do you prefer?
Probably. I think scrimmage yards. We could use a 1x in this one. I would do scrimmage.
Okay, we'll do the scrimmage yards. I mean this. This is a pro Brian Robinson Jr. show. I like him, but something is wrong with his knees because he's got no juice left after this knee injury, and they big time needed Eckler back. But if you just look at his, dude, look at this efficiency, man. He smashed in the one game they won, but that is a lot of 2s and 3s in the yards per carry column for Mr. Brian Robinson Jr.
No, he's a grinder. That's what he does. He racks up carries, and
I mean, he started out the year awesome. And then just really. Although, look at what he did in the very first game of the year: 49 receiving yards. So I hope we don't get. But I literally forgot these teams played in September. What a long year, man!
Really long year.
It's crazy.
Really long year. It's like 2 seasons.
All right, man. You wrap us up. You give us one more hateful leg.
Oh man, can we just look at Cooper Kupp?
God, how the mighty have fallen, brother.
This dude's giga dust, right? Or are we getting the?
Okay.
Go ahead, talk me through it.
This is kind of my BR grinding point and
Right.
my 10th round playoff best ball brain. Matt Stafford, maybe the last game of his career. These dudes, we saw these guys in that Thursday night game. Puka came back. They were talking about trading Cooper Kupp, and they said, nah, man, we got to keep the gang together. One last ride, once more into the breach, my brothers. I'll do it if you want to do it.
Let me see what else any other Rams receiver that we could potentially do. Like I bet you would feel a lot better doing Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, but they don't have it. Demarcus Robinson recorded 0 receptions in the best ball playoffs.
0. And
0.
then week 18, he popped off. I have him on mine. Are we getting different markets?
Well, are you pick'em champions or are you regular?
Regular, so that makes sense.
What do you have for him?
24.5 receiving yards.
Oh, all day.
Okay.
Well, it's just one catch for him, basically.
Yeah. You can take a lower on 1.5 receptions for plus multi.
Maybe if I refresh, it'll pop up.
Yeah,
because normally it's the same.
It should be.
I hope it did not just delete all of my hard work.
No, it should keep your idea box.
The idea box. I like
Oh,
that.
that's actually a death sentence. So I can read these back to you. Once you get the error, it's over.
No. Oh.
Yeah. It's like losing a save progress in a video game. And
oh my god. Well, let's see. Okay, let me just do lower 1.5 receptions, and then now you can close it out. Read them back to me.
Yeah, CJ Stroud lower 236.5 passing.
Bang.
Najee Harris no touchdown scored.
No touchdown for Najee.
Javonte Williams less than 11.5.
God, these are hateful, dude. We are hating today.
We're hating hard. Rashad White no touchdown scored.
They would be so proud of me to see me take these lowers, man. Dinkmeyer, he'd be like, "Wow, look at you, man."
So sharp. They're gonna ban you. Calvin Austin, lower 2.5 receptions.
Free money being given away. Stimulus check.
Jordan Love, higher 0.5 interceptions.
Crazy. That's imagine your interception line being 0.82x. That's nuts.
And then Brian Robinson, many men. Unfortunately, wish lowers on him. 57.5 scrimmage yards.
Okay. Bang, flexed, done. The hateful 8. Submit it. Don't get the red circle of death, man.
No, we did it.
We did it. All right, the hateful 8. Okay. So do you want to we could do playoff best ball. We could fire. What if we fired like some of the crazy ones, like game high receiving yards or like first quarter receiving yards? What do you want to do?
Yeah. I've never played around with any of those like milestone type or game highest. Let me see what we have there. Game high rushing yards or game high receiving yards. I like that you can sort by this. What should we?
Oh, how do you sort by that?
Type in game or like game high.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then
game high rush yards, NFL.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look at this.
Sick. Okay, this is game high rush yards.
They do not have your boy Gus Edwards in here. Just FYI. I looked.
Okay, I like this for Jaden Daniels a lot.
Wow.
He just needs a well. So I'm thinking basically it's what are the odds he outrushes Bucky?
I mean, God mode Jaden Daniels, right? I mean, like he's going to rush more than we've probably seen him rush in a long time. And what if like they're up and we can't even get Bucky Irving, to rush.
Yeah, I like that. I like
2.7x, man. That's fun. That's fun.
2.7x is good. I'm trying to think of Buffalo. I'm trying to think of like the garbage time. Like, what about Bo Nix? What about Bo Nix?
Bo Nix out rushing all of these.
It's probably priced inappropriately, but Nix has been scrambling his ass off, dude.
Nix is another one, yeah.
Nix consecutively, basically you'd need this game. He had 75 rushing yards against. In fact, let's go look. I bet he was the game high rusher in this game against New Orleans.
One time.
I think this was the game that Javonte went nuts. Okay, he just barely got eclipsed by Javonte in this game, but he was the second highest game rusher in that blowout. All right, we got one. We got Jane Daniels. Let's do game high receiving yards.
Okay, yeah, let's check out these ones.
This is a
new market.
Yeah, new market. New market unlocked. Game high receiving yards. What is Bateman? 2.25x. I really like that. I really like Bateman. 2.25x game high.
I'm surprised that's yards. So who's his competition there is obviously Andrews, who's even higher.
Andrews likely it's Pickens, really. Pickens is the favorite.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean George Pickens could either have 211 receiving yards or like be converted at halftime in a snake charming ceremony with Russell Wilson. Like nothing is surprising me with that dude.
Oh my God. Let's do
Aguilar or Wallace. I'm not going to do these, but Aguilar or Wallace would not be the worst because 88 yards might be the game high receiving yardage here.
And I'll throw out Likely too. 8x for Likely, a guy that has been.
Let's do Likely. You know what? Let's juice it up.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely.
And this is straight up like this is good. Like you really can't put anything. I mean, you might be able to do an even multiplier with this, but we're at 65x.
Well, let's do AJ Brown. Simple.
Yeah, does that max it out?
Wow, I think that over maxes us. Yeah, let's just do these two.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's toss in a Henry Tudd.
Just for good measure, just to add to the asshole.
Oh, you can't. I can't do.
Interesting.
Henry touchdown with game high receiving. Okay, all right, whatever. That's fine.
We got
all
something
right,
in the back end.
We got Isaiah Likely, game high receiving yards, and shit, I literally already forgot.
Jane Daniels, game high rush.
New market unlocked.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, that they're always taking care of us. They're always giving us new.
I'll never be bored ever again.
I will. It's true. I'll never be bored again. All right, let's do a slider and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Likely. We both really like Likely.
Yeah, I think Likely is going to be very
let's
much
slide
involved.
Likely to 49.5 receiving yards. I mean, that's like one nice screenplay. He's rumbling and bumbling.
Yeah, man, he's got yak ability. There's a lot of ways he gets there.
I think he's the most natural replacement probably for the short area stuff that Flowers is leaving. Who do you want to slide, brother, with a reasonable degree of conviction?
I think James Cook is just going to have a hell of a game, man. I'm a big fan of him in big games. I would like to slide his scrimmage yards to just like a 99.5. Just a 99.5.
I love it. Guys, the devs, we've asked you. The fantasy point slider. We're begging. We will be responsible, but you gotta give it to us, man. You gotta give us the fantasy point slider.
You can find a way. I'm sure that they're thinking about this day and night. But
it cannot possibly be that difficult. All right, I'm gonna go AJ Brown up to 99.5 receiving yards. That gets us to a 35x on 3 correct picks.
Nice. Let's look at Lad real quick. I want to see receptions, what we can get Lad to.
Oh, we could get Lad. I bet we could get like 6.5 at like a really 7.5 is 1.86.
7.5 gets us to 110x. 6.5 gets us to 72x.
All right, let's do that. The other thing I want to look is what is Justin Jefferson to have like a nuke.
Yeah, we got to be careful. If we do an even multiplier.
Well, I'm saying if we do 129 and we remove Lad, that gets us to a 136 or an 82x on the flex. Who do you like better, Jefferson? We'll do it either way, Jefferson or Lad.
You have Jefferson 129.
Yeah.
I have here's something that you can do, brother. If you keep Lad in
ears.
And you put Justin Jefferson at 119.5, you're gonna love what you see. You're gonna absolutely love it.
Lad. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Is he still in your idea box? No.
No, but it does do that. Here we go. All right, Lad, and then we're doing Jefferson to 119.
Just 119. You're gonna.
No. It's good because I don't want. If you refresh it, it'll mess it up.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know you could
go.
just like navigate.
Yes. Wow.
Just a shade under the max.
Bang.
Like it just doesn't get more faithful.
There we
than
go.
That.
There we go. The super slider for Wildcard weekend, likely to 49.5 receiving yards. James Cook higher than 99.5 rushing plus receiving yards. AJ Brown to 100 yards. Ladd 6.5 receptions. Justin Jefferson 119 receiving yards. This one is going to be live coming in to Monday night, and it's going to be a great sweat.
Why is this like so achievable? This doesn't even seem that crazy to me.
It seems so straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay. Yeah. I can totally see how this is all going to happen for us.
You love to see it. All right, Mr. Nez, what do you guys have coming up on Off and On the Clock? Are you dedicated to winning the wild card round BR, or are you too busy in the NBA dog bowl streets?
We're doing a ton of content today. So paywall show on Badge Bros will be NBA dog bowl. If you're trying to fire off at that, $15 an entry. We're going to cover the NBA slate after Off and On the Clock. For Off and On the Clock today, we are doing BRs. We did some playoff best ball yesterday where we talked about like how to attack the long shot Super Bowl teams, which I mean, it's like kind of straightforward, but I think we kind of did some like out of left field stuff that actually makes sense as well. But today, BR strategy on Off and On the Clock. Really excited to tackle that. So yeah, check us out over on Badge Bros or on Peter Overzet's channel. You can find us.
All right, can you give me some hints for the BR strategy? Is it Josh Jacobs related? Is it Jalen Hurts related?
What if I told you the QB6 has like 1 million rushing touchdowns on the season? What if I told you the last QB taken in every BR is live to score a rushing touchdown, like giga live to score a rushing touchdown? I mean, I don't know. Why are we letting Jalen Hurts be drafted in the 6th round of BRs? I am blown away by that.
It's really unbelievable. Who could have seen this coming? All right, folks, that is going to do it for Mr. Nez and I today. You guys can head on over to Unabated if you want to check out some of these odds that we were using, and I will be back. I don't know my streaming schedule, honestly, now that Sunday mornings aren't really a thing anymore, but I'll be back very soon. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short